guys, my name is Jess and welcome to my community, Paranormal Princess. I'm just going to put this mug here because it's ghosty. Oh, that's too hot. You know when you drink tea and then it ruins your mouth for the rest of the day? So I'm going to have to leave that. Anyway, so a little bit about me. My name's Jess. I'm 26, I'm from Manchester. I'm an actor, a singer. I do dance, but I kind of gave it up when I went to drama school a little bit because I went to train as an actor. That's what I do. Obviously right now I don't do that because we're not really doing anything at the minute, which sucks. So yeah, that's me. And I hope you're doing good. I hope that you like this idea of, obviously some people aren't into this, which I totally get. Some people love this stuff and I absolutely love it. Like, ever since I was little, paranormal, ghosts, spirits, Ouija boards. I've never done one, although I will tell you a story in a minute. A couple actually. I have a lot of stories to tell, which is obviously why I've set up this community, and I want you guys to also, you know, get in touch, tell me about your experiences because I really enjoy hearing them, and we can have a discussion about what it could be, because maybe, you know, things can be debunked, but I also want to state, like, a bit of a disclaimer that I want this to be a really respectful community, as in, like, I'm not saying you wouldn't be respectful, of course you would be, but just in case, I just want to put that in there that we need to respect each other's opinions and experiences. I know for me, like, I've had people before say to me, oh well, that didn't happen, or blah, blah, and it's like, it did, like, it's my reality, so, and it's your reality, which I completely respect. I will start by talking about my experiences, which have been always, it's so, like, always a part of my life. The paranormal has always been a part of my life, and I don't know if it's to do with the fact my dad passed away when I was 6, which I don't really, it's weird, I don't really remember much from that time, I guess, trauma and stuff, but it was from that moment on that I was interested in this kind of thing, and I think obviously that makes sense because I was a child and I didn't know, you know, what was happening and all that. My dad passed away, we were still living in Manchester, but we moved to a different kind of, like, part of Manchester. And I remember always getting this book out of my school. My school was like Church of England, proper, like, kind of strict really. But there was this one book in the library that was about ghosts. I have no idea why they had it there, because I think they wouldn't even like to celebrate Halloween or anything like that. I loved this book and I would just get it out. I would repeat, get it out. No one else would want to do it. I had a ghost club when I was in school because I was really cool. I'm just gonna take a sip. Just right. Yeah, I had a ghost club and I used to go to after school club. And basically we had this little group and we'd go into the bathroom and be like, knock twice if anyone's there. Nothing ever happened, but that school was creepy. It used to be a hospital. Anyway, that's a bit of background as to, like, how it happened and why I was kind of interested in it. There are things that have happened to me my whole life that still happen now, and I'm getting kind of creeped out now because I'm going to talk about it and I don't want anything to happen because things have happened here. My first thing that ever happened to me was me and my sister, so we shared a room back in Manchester, and we had a bunk bed when we were younger, and I was on the top, she was on the bottom. And there's 6 years difference, so at this point I can't remember, I think I was what, I can't do quick maths, I'm really bad at it, 13, and she was 6 years younger than that. And we were laying in bed asleep. It was like the dead of night. We'd been asleep for, I don't know, like 4 hours or something. It must have been like 2 a.m. or something like that. But I opened my eyes and there was this woman stood there. I was lay like this asleep and she was like here, say like you're me asleep, right here, just looking out towards the window, which was a huge, like, fire escape window, like massive. She had this bonnet on And I just remember seeing it and thinking, I'm asleep. And then my sister woke up and was like, Jess, why are you stood there? Why are you stood there? It was the creepiest thing in the whole world. And I was like, just go back to sleep, just go back to sleep. I know what you're thinking, how the hell to go back to sleep after that? But I don't know how, but we did. And I was like, turn around, just go back to sleep, just go back to sleep. And in the morning, I spoke to her about it, and she said, why did she have a fruit bowl on her head? And I was like, a fruit bowl? Like, she was wearing a bonnet, like a bonnet. Obviously, she was only young, so she was looking at, basically, she'd come round, so say the ladder's here, this is my sister, on the bottom. She comes round and looks and sees like this. She told me she saw this like blue dress, and she's like, oh my god, like at first she thought it was me, and then she was like, oh, who is that? What is that? And she saw like her face and like the fruit bowl on her head, which was a bonnet. But we'd both seen it at the same time. It didn't have like, I can see it now in my head. It didn't have like she didn't have a evil feel. It was just terrifying that someone was stood there that we had no idea who it was. That was kind of like the start of it. Our house is Victorian. It's called a cottage. It's like a Jubilee cottage. That's the name of it. It was made in like the 1800s, I think, and it's got like a plaque outside it. And it used to be where the Foreman people lived. And there's a huge Victorian like factory, literally like 2 minutes, like basically opposite our house. And we know the people that built it, like the family. It's so cool, like the family, our next door neighbours family built the two houses and then they split them. And it's the same family that live next door, but obviously we live here. So we kind of know a bit about the history. Yeah, all that time, like people must have died in there, or even if not, like there's something there. After that happened, it kind of just got a bit, I can't explain it, like different feelings, like different kind of energies. Like, you know when you walk into a room or walk into a house and you can feel something, or you can feel like a presence, or you can feel an experience almost, not like in a psychic way, but as in a way that's like something bad happened here, or this is a nice house, or you know. And I know all that can be lighting, it can be loads of different things. Basically, you would just get different vibes around the house. I would come home from high school and my little sister was in after school club in primary school at that point, so I was in the house on my own, and I would come in and I'd be terrified. I was all right the first like however many weeks, but I would hear banging upstairs, but not just like a little bang. It was like someone was genuinely walking, that someone was upstairs, like someone was walking, but it got to a point where the first time I heard it, I thought there was a robber. So I rang my grandpa, who, my mum was obviously at work. I rang my grandpa and was like, there's someone upstairs. He was like, there's no way someone's upstairs. I can't remember if he came round or not. I probably would have come round, but I don't think he did. Just leave me on my own. Yeah, that would happen, and then it would stop, and I'd be like, right, I'll go make myself a sandwich. I used to love making myself sandwiches after school. Like literally, it would be my absolute highlight of my day. I would get home, I would make like a cheese or ham sandwich or whatever with crisps, probably have like 3 bags of crisps, right? And I'd sit and watch Grizzly Tales for Gruesome Kids, which probably didn't help at the time, because it actually did used to scare me. That thing used to really scare me. And the little man's like, Grizzly Tales for Gruesome Kids. It's like, ah. Clearly I loved it though, so whatever. Anyway, and then this happened, which I thought I was going mad, because it was really bizarre. Basically, I was sat with, I never used to sit with the living room door open because I was used to be scared, but that day for some reason I was feeling brave. So I was watching telly with the living room door open. I was eating my sandwiches, I was, you know, loving life. I was watching Tracy Beaker at this point, because who doesn't love Tracy Beaker? And I don't know why, but I turn, I look. This sounds really, and I cringe every time I tell people loads of stories, but this is a story that I really cringe at because it sounds ridiculous. But I saw a girl in white run through the table and run into the wall. I saw that. She's in this white dress and she had longish hair like her, and she was, I'm gonna have to act it all out again. She was running and looking back as if something was chasing her, but the table, she just went through it and disappeared into the wall. It was so weird, and I was like, what the fuck did I just see? Are we allowed to swear? What the beep did I just see? And I shut the door, and I was sweating and terrified until my mum came home at like 6:30. I was there for about 2 hours, like, Things started taking a bit of a turn when I got a bit older. Like, basically, after all that stuff happened, like, there was a few other weird things, like my sister was asleep in my mum's room, me and my cousin were asleep in our room, and we woke up because there was a big bang, a smash in my mum's room on the wooden floor, and there was glass everywhere, and Emma was in bed and her nose was bleeding. So we were like, well, obviously she's knocked over the glass and like cut herself. And then in the morning she was like, no, there was a witch lady stood by my bed. I was like, what? Also, she was fully asleep. You could say that she was dreaming, maybe she was. It was just very creepy. But as I got older, I moved out, and there was a point where when I was auditioning for drama school, it took me 4 years to get in. I was just dancing, constantly singing. I was doing musicals all the time. I was doing plays. I was just working, work. Like, there was no time for anything else. So it was almost, I don't know, nothing happened. And you could say nothing happened was because I wasn't thinking about it. 100% could be, but it didn't. I moved out, and my first place I moved to was okay, like nothing bad really happened there. But when I moved to my second place, my ex-boyfriend, he lived in Southampton, and I would go to his basically every single weekend and, spend time with him, whatever. But whenever I would come home, a candle, which I don't have here right now, it's like this big, it was really small, it would just be on the centre of my bed. And at first, my roommates at the time, I was like, are you doing this? Like, are you doing that? And they were like, no. And I believed them because I don't think they would ever go into my room without my permission. And at the time, we were like best friends. So I don't think they would do that. And so I was like, okay. And I just kind of put it back and just ignored it. Every single weekend I came home, like, it wouldn't be lit or anything like that, but it would be in the centre of my bed. And it was weird because it was just a tiny thing, but it was almost being like, I'm here. And then me and my boyfriend broke up, and I got with who my boyfriend is now. We hadn't moved in by that point, and I was in the same flat with my roommates, and we were asleep, and we woke up to scratching inside the wardrobe. But I've had rats and mice before, and I thought, well, is it a mouse? Like, in my previous place, I was like, oh, for God's sake, I can't believe I've got mice again. Like, I had a rat in my skirting board, a rat. And it's, oh my God, I can still hear it now. Its tail, right? So imagine if this was the skirting board, the tail went, like this massive tail, just like that. And I would hear it, and I don't know whether it came out at night, I don't know, but the landlord was awful. He didn't give a shit. Oh no, now I'm thinking of rats and stuff. So yeah, rats and mice. So I thought, right, it might be a mouse or a rat. So I thought, right, and I just opened it because I was like, I can't be doing with this anymore. No more rats and mice in my mouth. My mouth. What am I talking about? My life. Not my mouth. I'd never ate them, I promise. No more rats and mice in my life, thank you very much. And nothing was there, so I was like, okay. In the morning, I looked for, like, you know, little mice poos and rat poos, and there wasn't anything there. There wasn't anything there. So it was just a bit creepy. And then my boyfriend doesn't believe, he still says he doesn't believe in this stuff, even though like he's experienced things ever since me coming into his life. We were sat on the bed, and basically like my bed's here, and the I wish I could just draw a diagram so you guys could see. You know, like a shelf attached to the wall, right? And then my bed's here. So on the shelf you can be lay in bed watching whatever you want, or you know, put stuff on it. I had like my laptop and loads of trinkets on it. Paul freaked out and he was like, oh my god, and I was like, what? And he was like, everything on your shelf, like everything on your shelf shifted to the left. And I was like, what? He just wouldn't even think to lie like that about something so random. I'm not going to tell anymore because I feel like I want to cliffhanger it. But basically, I'm not saying this for like clickbait, but basically I think I do have something in my life that's not very nice. And I think I'm getting freaked out now. If you see anything in the background, like, actually don't let me know because I'll freak out. Like I think I do have something in my life that's kind of not very nice. I'm actually getting chills. Something that in my life that's not very nice, something that I don't know if it necessarily wants to harm me, but there have been things that have happened that haven't been very nice. And yeah, sometimes it just makes me feel scared. And you hear all that stuff about demons and all that stuff about bad things following you, and I think sometimes if you give it the energy like I'm doing right now, which is why I'm freaking out, then stuff will happen. But if you ignore it, then it won't. So I guess I'm fucked. I hope you enjoyed this little video. I hope you like my idea. I'm really excited to hear your guys' views, your reactions, your stories most importantly. And I'm excited to get a conversation going because I feel like ghosts and spirits are such a taboo. And I honestly don't understand why, but no, you never know, you just don't know. So yeah, I hope you have a really nice day and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Okay, bye!